Hey Champs, so this is going to be a guide to shield crafting in Champignons of Arborethia. There's going to be two parts to it. The first one is going to be me doing like first glance, just sort of what I think of these shields. And then in the second half of this video, I'm going to bust open an Excel spreadsheet and do more in depth. So if you don't like numbers, just watch the front half. If you want the exact specifics, watch all the way to the end. Um, so a lot of people are making shields, and the two that people seem to think are the best are Shield of Unicorn and Shield of Soil. Um, at level 1 through 10, or 1 through 9, I guess, you don't have an option. There are no varieties. Epics become craftable at level 10, or you could craft them early, but you can't equip them until level 10. Legendaries you get at level 13, and Ancients you can equip at level 17. Um, so right off the bat, Shield of Rain, which gives mana, when you go from Magic to Epic, you lose the 10% health and you get less defense than everything else. So the base shield and the Shield of Unicorn have more stats. So they have 15 defense. Every other shield has 12, and the Shield of Rain has 10 defense. So you get one mana. Personally, I would say that's probably the worst shield right now. If they add multiple shroom battles where you fight with more than one guy, that would probably be more useful on a shroom you know won't be getting attacked, but where all the fights are one-on-one right now, I would never use that. The other one I would never use is a base shield. It has the exact same stats of Shield of Unicorn, but it's missing this 10% chance to heal for 10, so it's just a flat-out downgrade. Then we get into two shields here, the Shield of Wind and the Shield of Death, which kind of look like they do the same thing. They both have 12 defense. One is 10% chance to evade, and the other is a 10% chance to stun the attacker. So between these two, I would say Shield of Wind is better for two reasons. So the first reason is with Shield of Wind, uh, they try to attack you, and they miss you, you dodge it. Um, with Shield of Death, they hit you and then they get stunned, so they won't hit you the next turn. So you're talking about taking damage immediately with the Shield of Death and then delaying future damage, or you dodge the immediate damage with Shield of Wind. Uh, and so if you're at, 1 health left, Shield of Wind you would survive, Shield of Death you would die. So Shield of Wind is better there. The other thing is how evasion works. Uh, it's basically you take their hit chance and you subtract your evasion from that number. So if the enemy will hit you 85% of the time and you have an epic Shield of Wind on, it takes their 85% chance to hit you and makes it a 75% chance to hit you. Um, this percentage on the wind is based on 100%. For a Shield of Death, the 10% chance to stun would only trigger on chances when you were hit. So it's 10% of 85%. So it's actually like an 8.5% chance to stun. So Shield of Death is worse than Shield of Wind. Um, then we get into two things that are kind of similar, and they're the offensive shields. You have a Shield of Soil and a Shield of Sun. The Shield of Soil has a 15% chance to reflect 75% of incoming damage. And then the Shield of Sun has a 5% chance to confuse the attacker for 2 instances. So with both of these, you will take less damage because the person won't be hitting you, and they will take damage because they're damaging themselves. Just looking at them, I think because the 15% is so much better, even though this is 2 instances, it's still only if you double a chance and you say it's 1 instance, it's 10% chance to confuse for 1 instance. This is still 15% chance. So I think Shield of Soil is better. Um, Then we go to Shield of Life and Shield of Unicorn, which are probably like the most uh, defensive type shields where you will heal up as you're getting attacked. The Shield of Life has a 15% heal, and the Shield of Unicorn has a 10% heal. But the Unicorn gives you more defense and more HP. The Shield of Life doesn't have any percent health modifier. Shield of Unicorn has a 15% health modifier. So I would probably go with Shield of Unicorn out of those two. Um, and that pretty much puts you where people are at right now with Shield of Unicorn and Shield of Soil are the two best. But we're going to look a little bit deeper, and I have a spreadsheet here where I did the math and figured out which is better. So a couple things off the bat. I'd like to thank Rawcat or maybe Rawkato. I'm not sure what he prefers to go by. One of the co-founders. He gave me this little table of mushroom stats per level. For the attacks in this, like my whole spreadsheet is based on the statistical average. So, if a confused hit, you would get lucky and they hit themselves twice. I won't factor that in. I will go with, if they're supposed to hit themselves 2 times out of 20 hits, they will hit themselves exactly 2 times. So I also removed attack ranges from low range and high range, and I just went with the average hit at each level. So all of the attacks, I just have a single number. I don't use the ranges because I want to remove as much variance as possible. Then we'll get in over here of how defense actually works. This is in the docs. If you didn't read the docs, you probably don't really know, more numbers on your defense stat make you take less damage. How it actually works is you reduce the damage taken by 20% or 25% of your defense. So if you're going to get hit by an enemy and you have 100 defense, you will reduce 25 damage from their hit. If you had 40 defense, you would reduce 10 damage from every one of their hits. So that's factored in when we get into the calculations. And then how stacking percent stuff works. So like some of the shields have a percent health bonus to them, but warriors also have a percent health bonus. The percentages are added first and then multiplied by the base. So if you have a 30% warrior who's wearing a 15% shield, his final health pool is going to be the equivalent to you having a 45% health modifier as opposed to 30% times base, and then you multiply the 130% times the extra 15. So you don't get to double down on multipliers. It's the multipliers are added and then applied one time. All right, so we'll get into it. I am using mushroom level 10 to look at epic shields first. And currently this is set up with no passive bonuses, so no armor, no health, no healing, no defense. And the enemy that I have simulated here is a level 11 Pine Cora. The 3 enemies I'll look at are a level 14 Ada, a level 11 Pine Cora, and a level 17 Wolf. Because these, I think, are some of the tougher enemies, and you want to see how your shield will hand up in the worst situations as opposed to how it handles against, a baby ant, for example. So here is the data. It might be a little confusing at first, but the main column to look at is this damage taken, and then the net damage taken. So what we see is the item that gives you the least damage taken is the Shield of Soil. These two, Shield of Wind and Shield of Death, are basically the same, but like I said, I'm assuming you will get hit 100% of the time, and this is looking at 100 rounds of combat. So the enemy will hit you 100 times. And kind of surprising thing to me here is the dodge, like the Shield of Wind. I also then in addition to damage taken, because the Shield of Life and the Shield of Unicorn have the healing, I factored that in over here, and then I have the net damage taken, which is where I will ultimately determine the winner. So that does your damage taken minus the healing. So the damage taken can never go negative. If you block more damage with your defense than you would take, that goes to 0. But healing can be positive. So this net damage taken, if you see a negative number here, that means you will actually heal over the course of the fight. So right off the bat, if you don't have any defensive bonuses, Shield of Soil is by far the clear winner. After that, it would be Shield of Wind, followed by the Shield of Death. And then the Unicorn is actually slightly better than the Shield of Life because your defense is blocking more damage. Your defense is blocking an extra 75 damage in 100 rounds, whereas you're only healing for an extra 43 damage, 46 damage. So Shield of the Unicorn is better than Shield of Life. What starts to change things is because if you look at the base stats here, the Shield of the Unicorn has higher defense and health scaling and heal scaling, whereas the Shield of Soil doesn't have, like, the only scaling you have is off defense percent, but Unicorn benefits from that more. So if your mushroom has a percent health modifier on it, this heal chance from Unicorn will become stronger. If your mushroom has a heal percent modifier, this max health bonus becomes stronger. If you have a defense modifier, the defense from the Shield of Unicorn will be multiplied. So over time, your mushroom will start scaling if you have more defensive passive bonuses with the Shield of Unicorn. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and put in like the best possible base mushroom. So you would have a 50% health bonus. The only thing that changed is this healing amount right now. So you go from 0. If you had 50% more health, the percent health gets increased. Then if you go to the defense bonus, this damage taken column is going to change. So if you have 100% bonus defense, you see the Shield of Unicorn, because it's based off 15 defense instead of 12, had a much bigger shift than the others. So we go from 1750 with 100% defense to 2300. So you're getting 550 damage reduced. But if we look at, for example, the Shield of Death, where you go 2090, you go to 2042. So that's a lot less. Attack bonus, I'm not going to change because it won't affect anything for this calculation. None of the shields have better blocking damage ability based on your damage. But if we put in heal percent, this is where the Shield of Unicorn starts to scale a lot better than the Shield of Life. So if you have a max roll of 6 there, the Shield of Unicorn actually starts to heal more because of the 15% health bonus. So your bigger health pool makes your passive healing a lot stronger, and the Shield of Unicorn will heal you for more than the Shield of Life would. And now if we take a look at these numbers, we see that the Shield of Soil is still the best one. So 2 things we can do further. There's one OP item that a lot of people use, and that is the Staff of Life, which gives you a passive 7% heal bonus. So if we factor that in, so if you're on a priest with maximum defensive stats, 50% health, oh, I didn't put 100%, I put 10% defense bonus. There we go. Those numbers look a little bit better. And now you see there's only a 20 health difference between what a Shield of Soil would let you take versus what a Shield of the Unicorn would make you take. So if we add 7 to this heal percent, factoring in that you had an epic Shield of Soil, your heal would go from 6% up to 13%. And now you see you get negative numbers, but because the Shield of Unicorn is more negative, that means you're actually healing up more than you would heal if you had the Shield of Soil. So Shield of Unicorn, if you have max defense stats, becomes better. If we take out our health bonus here, the Shield of Unicorn is still better. If we drop out some defense bonus, so let's say instead of rolling 100, we only have 50. Now they're basically the exact same, 384 versus 382. If you take that out, and your only bonus is a 6% heal with Shield of Life, now the Shield of Soil does in fact become better. So we're going to zero all these out, and we'll take a look at the next level. So the legendaries. So your mushroom, to be equipping a legendary, needs to be level 13. And the enemies, instead of dealing 28 damage, are going to be dealing 42.6 damage. And their armor. Oh, the one thing I didn't mention. So even though if you had a situation where Shield of Unicorn and Shield of Soil were basically blocking the same amount of damage, you're missing out on the fact that the Shield of Soil will reflect damage at the enemy. So this damage dealt column would have the enemies hurting themselves for 39 damage, or 339 damage. The Shield of Sun, the other offensive one, always has less damage than the Shield of Soil. So in terms of those two, Soil is better than the Sun. So now, like I was saying, I'm going to switch over to a level 13 enemy, or actually I went to a level 14 because you could fight people one level higher than you. So if you're level 13, you could face a level 14 enemy. And now the stats we're looking at are this block here. Right off the bat, if you have no defensive bonuses, no heal percent, Shield of Soil is once again the best option. So if all you have is a flat attack percent bonus, Shield of Soil is the way to go. But you have a lot more base health now with those 3 levels, so the heal percent and the health bonus start becoming a lot better. So if we factor in 50% heal bonus, maximum defense bonus, not 1,100. So see, if I plug in 1,000, damage taken goes to 0, but your healing can still take you into the negative. So 100 defense bonus, max defense bonus, and we'll say you got 6% heal. What ends up happening is the Shield of Soil will heal you for 4 over time. The Shield of Unicorn will heal you for 300. And actually, in this case, the base shield, which has a flat health bonus, will end up healing you more than what the Shield of Soil would, because it has more defense. It goes from a 30 on the Shield of Soil to 40. And your health bonus, which is non-existent on Shield of Soil, is there. But Shield of Unicorn is always better than the base shield. So as you can see, when you move up to a higher level, these passive bonuses start to mean more, and the Shield of Unicorn edges out Shield of Soil. But this is perfectly rolled mushroom. You probably won't get that. Like if you had the worst possible stat rolls for all of these, so you got 25 defense bonus, 10 health, and 3% heal. What ends up happening is the Shield of Soil does end up blocking more damage, and it sends an extra 500 damage back at the enemy. So, let's say, for example, you were on an Alchemist, so you only get 2 bonuses. If you had 50% health bonus, no defense, and for an Alchemist, you actually can use staves. So I would assume you know what? We'll say you don't even have, you got XP, foraging, and health bonus. So your only heal bonus is going to be your Staff of Life at 7%. In that case, the Shield of Unicorn is actually the better defensive shield than a Shield of Soil. So with just 1 bonus, the Shield of Unicorn ends up taking the lead. So we're going to swap this out now. 0, 0. And then we're going to make ourselves a level 17 mushroom. these stats start to go a lot higher. And the enemy, I didn't have any level 18 enemies to take as an example, but I found, I believe it was Enoch gave me a picture of a level 17 wolf. So we're going to plug in wolf stats. And what we're going to notice right off the bat here is we are taking a lot of damage, 6,000 damage over the course of a fight. So if you have low bonuses, you're not going to have a good time going up to an ancient gear. So we'll say we got, once again, the most powerful defensive mushroom in the game. 50 health bonus, 100 defense, and 6% heal. We're still going to take damage on almost all of these. Shield of Unicorn is the only one where we will heal for more damage than we take. Shield of Soil, however, will send back at the wolf almost 1,500 damage. So that's my assessment. If you have good defensive stats, you're going to want to use Shield of the Unicorn, especially if you're planning to go up to Legendary or Ancient gear. If you only have like an attack bonus and some weak gear, then your Shield of Soil is going to be the best bet. I hope this was informative to you. Thanks for watching, champs.